A pretty high-minded discussion for the past 70 minutes that did not have a lot of contrast between these two candidates other than a commitment for more public service, to encourage more public service, both critical of President Bush for not asking Americans to do more after the September 11th attacks. There was a lot of talk of each of their biographies, their own service. Senator Obama called Senator McCain's service legendary. And the only moment of contrast had to do with some back and forth about some of the attacks made by Governor Palin during the Republican convention on community organizing of Senator Obama, saying that as a small-town mayor, she had actual responsibility. A fun moment as well, both agreeing to serve in each other's cabinet as some kind of service czar. Chris Matthews joins me now. Chris, this is quite a contrast to the way the campaign has been being fought over these past couple of weeks. Did we learn something tonight?
Well, you said it very well there, talking about it being high-minded. I've never seen anything like this in this campaign. First of all, I thought for those of us who in our youth remember the 60s, I don't mean the long-haired, drug-crazed later 60s, when the Vietnam War became such a bad feeling in the country. The early 60s, the era of narrow ties and short hair and the Peace Corps and the space program, and the Call to Glory is one of those old those TV shows, I think, on our network once lionized. I think you felt it tonight, a bit of the reference to national service. I thought the reference to how the Kennedy era had inspired Barack Obama, and clearly the way it influenced John McCain, who was a contemporary back then. So there was that wonderful aspect to it. On the political side, again, I think you hit the right bell there, because it's very interesting that if we had a campaign the kind that John McCain has called for, the kind that perhaps Kennedy and Goldwater were going to fight before the assassination back in '64, where they both campaigned together as fellows, I really do think that you saw a bit of that tonight. You wouldn't have had spitballs, if you will, metaphorical spitballs about lipstick and somebody being a community organizer, those belittling, contemptuous comments, if they're in the same room together. And tonight they almost were, and I felt the same high-mindedness.
And quickly, Chris, there's not a lot of difference between these two candidates on the role that government should actually play in either encouraging or, more than encouraging, mandating that Americans play some sort of role in public service.
This isn't the 1980s. This isn't the Reagan era. This sort of gold rush, if you will, of the 80s, where everybody went out for money quickly, or even the dot-com 90s. It's very much a public sector message we're getting from both of these fellas. Join the public service, do something for the government, get in the Peace Corps, join the military, or do a lot of voluntary work, or do low-paid jobs that are good for the community. The only nuance of difference, and this is very subtle, John McCain is clearly a nationalist, do something for the country generally, whereas Barack Obama is a communitarian, do something for your community. A little nuance there, not a big one.
Right, and he stressed that, did Senator McCain, that military service is not the only way to serve America.